Okay, okay. So hello everybody. A big hello from Vienna to Kolkata. I'm very glad after a long time we meet again for the session because I found also when I was in India in April that it's missing. Are you also of this opinion? It was missing for a long time now that we are meeting here in front of our laptops or mobiles to see each other and get some guidance. So I'm very glad that I could, I can't say win somebody because Philipp was immediately, he was telling me he's willing to do these sessions, and I'm very glad you are with us. And I know that you are a very busy man and that could find the time to speak to our students here. And I would like to make first, like we did in our last sessions, Philipp was already in my radio show 1 year ago, approximately, a little bit more than 1 year ago. It was a very successful show. He was telling lots of important things. Yes, it was really. I was just listening to it one more time just before. And I found that we made it brilliant, Philipp.
Yeah, you made it. You did
No,
that.
you
You did
made
that.
it. It
You
was your
did that.
answers, not my question.
I did not work against it. You did it.
And you baked the cake, so it
Yeah, I
was
did.
like motivating us. So, starting with your CV, your biography, and as we have so many people here who are studying right now,
Mm.
you made studies of economics.
Yeah.
So, why did you take this decision? And then, after when you got when you got freelance, independent, self-employed, did you really take advantage of what you learned at university?
Mhm. So first of all, thank you really for giving me the chance to spend time with you all. I have to tell you all, I heard so much of you all, and following Claudia's and Malis's work with Zuki, I am really excited to meet you all. So it's really a pleasure, it's an honor, and I'm very happy to see you because I already heard a lot of stories. And so finally, I'm very happy to at least see some faces, and it's really an honor. And I was wondering if you all, because some of you have deactivated the picture, so maybe you have the chance to activate the chat, so we can do a bit of interaction. Because while I'm talking about my study and why I chose to study economics, I was wondering what you are all studying. So maybe you can type into the chat and let me know what do you study. And I'd love to read that and love to see that.
And then
As you
maybe
said,
some you can put on the camera maybe now to that Philip sees your faces. So
yeah,
just for some minutes, this would be very nice. So
everybody.
now it's the first introduction
Oh,
meeting.
that's
And
very, very nice. Oh, wow, here are you all. Good to see you. Why do you turn it off? Everybody should see you. Occupational therapy, Raju. Very, very interesting. Wow. So Raju already took the chat. Maybe you wanna type into the chat as well what you are studying. Then I get to know that. I decided to study international economics because it was really the only thing that came into my mind. I could never imagine studying law. I could never imagine studying medicine. I could never imagine studying, I don't know, biology or whatever. It was really the only thing that I could imagine to study, because I always had some relationship to economics, to entrepreneurship, although absolutely no one in my family ever has been an entrepreneur. So I am the first one in my family who has a college degree. The first one. I am the first one in my family who has a university degree. Yeah, so no one ever finished college in my family. No one studied. No one in my family ever founded a company. So it's really a first. I don't have any entrepreneurial role models in my family. So it's really funny you asked that question. It was really the only thing I could see myself in. It would have been hard for me to see myself in anything else.
But it took a lot of courage then, Philipp. You
yeah,
didn't have any
courage
role models, and
it did not seem like a very big decision, because I just thought, maybe just give it a try and have a look. And when I read all your studies, it's just a wow. Electronics and communication engineering. I salute you. It's no. Technical studies would not have been possible for me. Accounting and taxation, yeah, it's a bit closer to my topics. Bachelor in hospitality in hotel administration, I did that as well. Not as a bachelor, but I went to a school of hospitality and hotel administration, which I did before I studied economics. So I also learned hospitality and hotel administration, and I'm I learned cooking as well, so I can cook. So which is not bad.
Cake.
And bake cakes, yeah. So no, the decision for the study really was kind of low key for me. I didn't really think that much about it. I knew I wanted to study something. I knew I wanted to pursue studying at university, and it was really by crossing out all the things that were not possible to me, and international business was left. So I did that.
But it was at the time when the studies were free in Austria, wasn't it?
No, it was already, I needed to pay for it, but I started working when I started university. I started working as well, because my parents were not able to really fund and finance the whole study for me. So I started a job at the first semester and earned my own money and studied. Yeah.
And what kind of job?
Yeah, it's funny. I think only for you, Claudia. I was an assistant to a member of a parliament. Yeah, so I really
this was
kind
it.
of
Yes, now I remember the story.
It was kind of an assistant job. So I carried the bags, and I carried the papers, and took the protocol and whatsoever. So it was an assistant job. Yeah.
So you went into politics then very early. Also, I think after your studies, you started
already during my studies,
having this job, and you were joining the Conservative Party, and you were working, and this is a very when people speak about Philipp Maderthaner, we also speak about Sebastian Kurz, who was the chancellor in Austria, a very, very young chancellor. He was 31 when he got the chancellor. And Philipp was making his election campaign. And it was now, when I was listening to our radio show, I was reminded once more that you made a movement out of this campaign. And I think this was really special. And you were called the chancellor maker, the one who was, like giving so much attention to, or having such a successful campaign so that Sebastian Kurz could win. So can you maybe describe what was your idea behind and why this campaign was so successful?
Wow. A lot of reasons. First of all, what is interesting maybe is when I used to work in politics. There's a lot of international knowledge exchange, and you at least once or twice a year you actually meet with people from parties from all over the world, and we also always met people from India, because there were a lot of interesting trends and technologies emerging in election campaigns in India. And when it comes to the campaigns I did, it basically, at the end of the day, a lot of you might have recognized it's a few years ago, but the campaign of Barack Obama was very famous in the United States. Everybody followed the campaign of Barack Obama, and not only because Barack Obama was so charismatic, people followed also that campaign because it was a lot of new innovation and technology involved in the campaign. And what we tried to do in Austria a few years ago is bring a lot of innovation and technology into campaigns, which allowed people to become part of a campaign and engage in a campaign and really become part of a bigger movement. And I think this is something we did pretty well. And at the end of the day, politics is
very modest.
no, it not.
Pretty well. You know, the whole country was like
The whole
finding.
country was cheering and fired up. Yeah, you're right.
Yes,
A lot of,
yes.
not the whole country, but at least a
Big
third
parts of the
or
country.
a half of the country. Yeah.
Because I think this is a very, very important point. You said, and you also said in my radio show, we made out of the campaign, now you also said it, a big movement. So
Yeah.
you were animating people to have their own ideas, how
Yeah.
they can like work for or make events or something
Yeah.
special to support the candidate,
Yeah.
Sebastian Kurz.
Yeah.
So for instance, what did they do?
We invited people, you know, to if you want to get elected as a candidate, you need a lot of helping hands. You can't get elected, you know, just by being on your own. So the success of any campaign is thousands and hundreds of thousands, and in your case, maybe millions of people as a helping hand in a campaign. And so the art behind it is really giving the right people the right, or asking the right people the right thing to do. What does that mean? Some people in a campaign are willing to contribute money, so fundraising. Some people are willing to contribute their time. They are willing to go out on the street or visit an event. Some people are willing to contribute their network and so maybe invite others into the campaign. And what you have to do in a campaign is you have to learn what are people willing to give, and then ask them to give it and to facilitate giving it. And facilitating in most cases means allowing people to do something online, right? So it's really giving them the option to donate money online, giving them the option to share content of the campaign online, giving them the option to maybe recruit others for the campaign online. So it's really giving people or empowering people to act on behalf of the campaign, which is the art of every grassroots movement, and which is the whole difference to a kind of top-down campaign, which is, you know, having TV spots or radio spots and billboards and whatever. So this is only communication, but what you need in a campaign is a grassroots movement. A grassroots movement always means people are empowered to do something meaningful, and this is what we try to do.
Mm-hmm. So if we just like put it to our students, if somebody there are some who are studying economics and want to found their own business, for instance, and want to make a crowdfunding, like animate people to give money. So
perfect example.
How could you like give some advice out of your experience?
Well, first of all, people always, what you have to know, and what's the basic of every movement is that people want to be part of something that is greater than themselves. What does that mean? People want to be part of an idea and achieve something they cannot achieve by themselves. So when you start a crowdfunding, for example, the principle of a crowdfunding for a company or for a business idea is that you allow people maybe to give, I'd say, $100, and with $100 to be part of a huge idea and a huge business idea. And maybe for the $100 they get an early stage product, or they get just a very special signed edition of your product. So that people give something and they want to be special. Yeah. So you always, if you want something from people, you always have to think about what can you do to make them feel special. Yeah. So when you do a crowdfunding, for example, I would always think about when people give me money to support my idea, what can I give them back that is so special that they cannot buy it? You have to give people something they cannot buy. Yeah. And when it comes to crowdfunding for businesses, sometimes it's special editions of products, early access to a product, your name engraved as a supporter on the product or whatever. I don't know if you know, but who knows Harley Davidson, the bike? Show me by a show of hands, yeah? Harley Davidson. I don't know if you know, but on every Harley Davidson motorcycle, there is a part of the motorcycle where the workers who built the motorcycle engrave their names, yeah? So in some way, every Harley Davidson motorcycle is very, very special, yeah? Because all the workers who contribute to building the motorcycle, they engrave their name into a plate on the motorcycle. So every motorcycle is very special. And this is just one example of how you can create this specialness, for example.
Mm-hmm. So actually what we are doing at Zuki is a little bit the same, because we asked for sponsorships and the people get the feeling that they help and support some children. And this is, you know, bigger
absolutely
than life.
No, it is because when we talk about maybe, I don't know, whatever, building a house somewhere or building a school somewhere, one alone might not be able to do that, but some people together are able to do that, and it allows them to do something that is greater than one person, and which gives people a very special feeling, and which is basically the psychology behind every donation or crowdfunding or whatsoever. People want to do meaningful things. This is human nature.
So going back to your story, when you were working in politics, I think it was for 7 or 8 years, was quite a long time, but you started very young. I think you were 25 or
20, 21, 22.
Is this, I know that politics in India are different, a very corrupted country, but is this, would you give this as an advice that it's a career is easier then because you make lots of contacts, you have many powerful people you met in a very young age?
No, I would actually, this would not be the major point for me. The point is, which is really a recommendation I would give to each and every one of you, what really played a major role, I think, looking back in my personal development, is volunteering, really volunteering and engaging in something. And this, for some people, it's volunteering and engaging in a political movement. This is one thing. My first voluntary engagement was within the students' union. Yeah, so I was spokesman. First of all, I became a student representative at my school. Then I joined the students' union. Then I became the spokesman of the students' union. I organized the chapter of this union. And really, most of my early experiences and early skills and early practice of, because Raju, you asked leadership, my early practice of leadership really dates back to the time when I voluntarily did work at the Students' Union. Yeah. So what I would really recommend each and every one is, if you have the opportunity to join any kind of community or voluntary organization or union or whatever, and really become part of something and engage there and contribute there and work there, you have the option of really gaining a lot of early experiences before maybe you start a job or something. When I started my first job, I already had years of experiences working. I had already experience in leadership because I did it as a volunteer. Yeah. So really at the beginning of my career, I already had some experiences, which was very, very valuable. So it was not that much about, as your question was, Claudia, not about the contacts, really. It was about practice and experience in an early stage of my life.
I see. And then when did you decide to leave politics and to start with your own business?
I was in this kind of political business for about 10 years. And then I thought I've seen that and quit my job and quit it not knowing what to start tomorrow. So I did not have another job. I did not have an idea for my company. So I really quit the job, and I only knew this job is not the right thing for me anymore. And then I had kind of a timeout phase of a few weeks. And then I started working kind of self-employed, not yet with the clear idea of founding a company, but I worked self-employed and did a project there and did a project there and did a project there. And at the end, I thought, okay, now I'm doing 3 projects. I might call it a company. Yeah. So this was really the start of my company. Sometimes things just happen in life and start in life, and you just need to make something out of it. I do not think that everything in life is plannable. Sometimes it's really recognizing an opportunity and just hopping onto the wave. It's to take that picture. Sometimes it's really hard in life or in business to create a wave. Yeah, it's hard to create a wave. It's also hard. I don't know if there are surfers. I'm not a surfer. Yeah, but I tried once, and so I know it's also hard to surf a wave, but creating a wave is even more hard. So sometimes it's really just looking out for opportunity and seeing where you can make out something of an opportunity that is already in front of you. Yeah, and not planning on a piece of paper. There's this nice and famous quote. Life is the thing that happens while you are making plans. Yeah. So you can make plans, but life is life. Yeah.
And you told about projects. What kind of projects? It was like
It was a communication strategy here and a campaign idea there. So people asked me for what they thought I'm experienced in. Yeah.
And I think 2 years ago you started with your own podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
4 years.
4 years ago.
4
4
years
years.
ago. Yeah.
Business Gladiators. So
Yes.
unfortunately, it's just in German because you give there lots of recommendation for businessmen for how to, I don't know, show yourself and so what is the most frequent question? Because you're asking all your listeners to give you questions, to give you some topics.
So maybe I'm sure meanwhile I'm sure any kind of AI tool which allows you to listen to my podcast translated in English.
Yes.
I'm sure there must be something where you just put in the link and then you get to hear my voice in English via AI. So maybe we look out for that, and you can, if you are interested in, you can listen to it. So most of the questions I'd say is people who want to gain any kind of inner security for whatever they want to pursue. So what does that mean? People are insecure if something is the right thing to do. People are insecure if they are on the right path. So so the point behind that is what I got to learn is we all have our insecurities. We all have. Yeah. So if anybody says he doesn't, don't listen to them. Yeah. All people have insecurities. And even the most successful people have insecurities. It's absolutely human nature. I think the only difference between some of the most successful people and maybe myself is that the most successful people do not spend that much time and attention on their insecurities. But that doesn't mean they don't have them. So everyone out in this world has some place where they are insecure. Yeah. So the only question is, are you getting or are you trying to get better to deal with your insecurities? Yeah. And so what I try to do with my podcast is helping people to gain security at the end of the day and some people ask, so, but how you can do that? They all have such different challenges, and how can you give people security? And the thing is, and I want to share that with you all, is I don't know the right answer to any of the problems people ask me. I don't know. But here comes the thing. Nobody knows. Yeah. Here comes the thing. Nobody knows. There's only one way in life to find out if something is a good thing to do. You do it. And then you find out if it's a good thing to do. So the only thing on a very substantial level, the only thing I really try to do with my podcast and all the things I do is getting people to do things and to try things and to just do it to find out if it's a good idea. I have so many people coming to me and telling me, I'm thinking about founding a business, but I don't have the right business idea. And I always say, you will never find it, because everyone who thinks there's this kind of moment where you sit at home and say, woo, now I got the idea, and this is the perfect idea, and it's going to make me huge amounts of money. There's no such moment like that. It is not. Everyone on this world who has become successful was at some point just a normal person trying to find out if something is a good idea. And when then something turns out that it's a good idea, everybody says, he or she must have known before. It was the perfect idea. This idea, everybody knows this idea works. No, the only thing to find out if something is a good idea is to do it. This is it's science, you know. Some of you, or a lot of you, are studying science in some kind of way, and the experiment, trial and error, is the only way in science to find out if something is true or wrong. This is science. Yeah. If you make a test, a scientific test, like a COVID test, right? We all had the COVID test. If you take this COVID test and put on the drop, then you see, is it true I have COVID, or is it false I don't have COVID? That's testing in science. And what I want people to encourage, and you as well, is apply this principle to your life. If you want to find out if something is a good idea, stop thinking about it. Thinking, because you will not get any valuable information from thinking. Yeah, your brain is a closed system. Brain is not a future-telling instrument. So the only thing to really learn is put your idea or your whatever you want to try, put it to test and find out if it's a good idea or a bad idea. And when you try it, you can tell it. When you just think it, you cannot tell it. The brain is really, and don't get me wrong, I think a lot and everything, but the brain is not really the best part to really, I always say, to make great decisions, because the brain only has informations from your past until today. This is, the storage here behind your ears is information from the past until today. You do not have information about tomorrow in your brain. It's impossible. We're not able to tell the weather of tomorrow. Last time we planned our session, there was this, you said, Claudia, was the cyclone, right?
Cyclone, yes.
The cyclone. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're not able to tell the weather of tomorrow. So how will you be able to tell your future by thinking about it? It's impossible, because your brain does not have the right information about the future. You only have information from your childhood and your early days and what you did yesterday and what you learned a month ago. This is saved and stored here. but there is no information about tomorrow. So when you're thinking about your future, thinking is not always the best idea. And don't get me wrong, so think about the fundamentals, but not overthinking, right? Overthinking is not the best strategy to make big decisions. Sometimes it's really just do it, just stay on it, just try it, yeah? And I want really to encourage you for that. So a long monologue. Sorry for that.
Okay. Just one. Before we start with Philipp's speech about the growth mindset, is there any questions on his story and his life? You are going.
You can type it in the chat or ask with the microphone.
And you were also giving advice to some young businessmen on the TV.
I did, yeah. I did this investment show where we do invest in startups and try to mentor people in the business world. But at the end of the day, it's really the same thing. We tend to overthink it, and we're already in the midst of the topic, right? That we want to talk today. It's growth mindset is not about thinking, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay, but I just have one more question. You say we don't know anything about the future, but if you want to start, for instance, your business, then you need a business plan, don't you?
Yeah.
So you try to predict the future somehow or calculate.
I'd say I'm critical about this type of business plan we used to do years or tens of years ago, where you really plan a business for the next 3 years. Nobody can plan a business for the next 3 years. Imagine you have planned a business in 2019 for the next 3 years, and 2020 was a pandemic. So lots of fun with your business plan. I'm sure we cannot plan to this extent anymore. But what we should do when we start a business is to have any kind of hypothesis, yeah. So to have a hypothesis, yeah, which means that I assume that maybe what could that be? I assume that there is a need for an Indian restaurant on this place behind that window, where lots of people walk by, business people who love Indian cuisine, and I assume that there is the interest and the need for Indian food over there. And that I assume that the next step is I have to test my assumption. And now we come to the point: is it a good idea to have the assumption and then go to the bank, take a loan, and give out all the money? No, it's not a good idea. Yeah. So maybe the next step is to test the assumption. Maybe you build a food stand. Yeah, a food stand, and try to sell Indian food on a food stand on the corner over there, and look if people are into it. And when you learn, they like it, they like the food, there are a lot of people, they buy it, they love the taste, then maybe it's a good idea to go to the bank and get a loan and build a business. So it's really this step-by-step trial and error. This is the thing I wanna give to you.
Okay, good. So are there any questions? Otherwise we start with your speech about the growth mindset.
Here's one question. Omar,
yes.
You raised the hand, right? Or was it by accident? No.
No, it wasn't. Guten Abend, meine Familie Zuki und Philipp. Ich bin Omar und 19 Jahre alt. It's a pleasure having you in the meeting, and we were waiting for this session. I'm currently pursuing BBA. So my first question was like initially, which was being asked by Claudia Auntie. Like when there was an introductory video of yours in which you were sitting before a bookshelf. In it, I saw a book of Barack Obama. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
had the question of asking you there. I observed that one. But Claudia auntie asked, and I got to know why he is an inspiration to you. The second question, you were talking about crowdfunding. Like,
Yeah.
as the business idea comes into someone's mind, it's very much essential to have capital or funding, right?
Yeah.
So as you said, it's very much crucial and important to deliver our idea to the person in such a way so that he feels it's my own idea and would like to invest in that.
Yeah.
So of course, in your life you had a you some at some point there were a time when you did crowdfunding. So who was it and how did you choose that? Uh, that is the particular person. How was your feeling at that time? Usually, when we meet someone, there are jitters and we are nervous usually. We think that what is going to happen. So how was your the time out there and what was about your crowdfunding, the initial one?
So first of all, wow, your German is excellent. Fantastic. Congratulations for that. Really, it's amazing. The first question, as you already heard, is really what inspired me about Barack Obama is his ability to inspire people. This was it. The way he really sparked this huge movement. This inspired me a lot, and this is why I still have his books on my shelf. And when it comes to your second question, I did not do a crowdfunding for my personal businesses. So what I did for my businesses was more the bootstrapping way. So what does bootstrapping mean? I really tried to start very small, yeah, with very, very little capital. So and sure, there are some businesses where that doesn't work. There are a lot of businesses where you need capital, yeah. But as I tried to point out with the example before of the restaurant, yeah, there are always ways to test your idea in a first step with fewer capital. And I'm a very big friend of this because what I see in the business world is lots of people burn a lot of capital because they go into a business idea when they could have been able to test it in a very small experiment. And I hope the example of the restaurant was practical, because when you say you want to open a restaurant, you can go and open a restaurant and then look if somebody is interested. And this is really what most people do, which is crazy. It's people get themselves into debt and open the door and hope that somebody likes their idea. And don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of hope, but I'm an even much bigger fan of testing something. And when it comes to the restaurant, a good test would be make a food stand before, yeah, or just stand on the street and ask people or count people how many people are ordering Indian food at the food court or whatever. So observation, doing an experiment. And when you do that, and this is what I basically did when I told you the story before, how I became self-employed, it really was, I had an experiment as well, because I quit my job, and after that someone asked me, hey, do you want to do a project? And I said, okay, I want to do a project. Then the second person asked me, hey, do you want to do a project with us? I said, yes, I want to do a project with us. And the third person. So at the end of the day, this was an experiment as well. I already had people asking me for a project. So the only thing I did is to count 1 + 1 is 2, because I already saw people are interested in working with me. So then I said, okay, they ask for a communication concept or strategy. They ask for a campaign idea. So when this is the thing people are asking from me, well, then let's start a business there. So sometimes really business is really good observation. So not so, when we see the big ideas in the world, most of the big ideas look like somebody genius sat at home, had an idea, went out and changed the world. This is how it always looks like, right? But the thing is, while this might be true for some, huge innovation, yeah, the iPhone, yeah, nobody asked for the iPhone, but somebody invented it because he made a bold bet. But here's the thing, while for some things this works, most of the successful businesses were just very good observations and experiments and tests. What do people need and where might be an opportunity to earn some money? Yeah, a lot of big companies started like that. Just one person seeing, you need this, okay, then I might build a business to give you what you want and earn some money with it. So I'm a big fan of bootstrapping businesses, a big fan, because bootstrapping, which is just another word for taking your own resources, mostly not money, but your own time and effort and sweat, yeah, taking this to make an experiment. And if it works, the experiment, then you can do a crowdfunding or get a loan or get an investor, and you will have totally different conversations. Because when you go to an investor and you already did your experiment before, bootstrap, he will ask you, okay, why do you think your idea is a good idea? And then you will answer, because I already tried it and I tested it and I did an experiment. And he will say, okay, that's interesting. Yeah. And he will give you a lot easier the money than if you have just an idea and the first thing you do is you go out to other people and ask them for their money. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
If there is still a time, I have another question, short question. Is it possible?
Yes,
Sure.
I think
Okay.
so.
The second question is, it's about you spoke about just most of the time it's about trial and error. Yes, I do agree to some point, but imagine a scenario where just you took the example of the restaurant outside and you have had a good observation. So before that you have practically tried a lot of businesses and you couldn't do well in that, right? So you couldn't do well, so you had to leave that business and then look for, after doing research and all, then hopefully we did the business of the restaurant one. Now COVID comes, then again we fail in that. Okay, so if constantly these setbacks are coming, like obviously we are going to have some effect in our brain. We would, and we on the other hand have the interest in doing something of our own, a business of our own. So as you found your identity, who you want to be, like your own interest, so in that point, how to be optimistic and in amidst all this chaos, find the right thing for oneself. I know there is no perfect answer to this, but what is your closest answer to this? Thanks.
It's a very, very good question. Thank you for that. So what can I say? One thing is, sometimes when it comes to setbacks, sometimes setbacks are a test in itself. And the test of a setback is, how serious are you about it, right? So a very close friend of mine is pursuing a career in a special field, and he had to take a very large exam, and he failed at that exam, right? And now he thinks about taking the second chance and do the exam again. You have two chances, or quit. And I said to him, the only question is, how much do you want it? Because if you want it more than anything else, you will not, maybe you will be emotional about the setback. That's fine. But you will not let the setback define your way. You will say, no, it's much more important for me, so I will stay on it and show the grit. So sometimes setbacks are a test in itself. And the test is, how much do you want it? Yeah. And to be honest with you, a lot of very big things in terms of business have had tremendous setbacks before they worked out. Yeah. There's this funny thing that Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's, yeah, the founder of McDonald's tried to sell. They started with milkshakes. I don't know if you know that they did not have burgers at the beginning, but they started with milkshakes. Yeah. So the founder of McDonald's, he really got 167 no. He did not sell anything. No, 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 no. And today it's McDonald's, right? So each and every no was really the question, how much do you want it? How much do you want it? How much do you want it? So setbacks are one, a test about how much do you want it. Second thing is setbacks are, and I know they are painful and they are hurtful and no doubt about that. Setbacks are also, in my experience, the most valuable source of experience above all. So everybody says you can learn a lot from your failures, and it sounds like just a Facebook quote. Everybody says like, but nobody, really lives it. But when I started my first company, or before I started my first company, my communication agency, yeah, I did a final, I was campaign manager for an election campaign, which was my last job to do. And I failed miserably. I totally, it went, wow, everything went down. So I failed. It was a tragedy, right? And so I really doubted myself and said, oh my God, maybe I'm not that kind of whiz kid and genius everybody is telling, because at that time everybody said, Philipp, he's the campaign genius, blah, blah, blah. And I really thought it about myself, and then I failed. Yeah. And to be honest with you, most of the things that today make my first company great and valuable are the learnings that I made in this failure. Yeah. So for me, it's really two things about setbacks. One, they are a test, and two, they are a source of really valuable experience. This is one thing. I think I did miss one part of your question. Maybe you can. What did I miss, Omar? Help me.
Actually, to be honest, I was so lost in your story and relating to the answer, I forgot my question itself.
Okay, thank you.
But
I was so engrossed. Thank you for the answer.
There's one more question in the chat. It's about failures. Maybe it's a little bit similar now to the setbacks.
Yeah, I had a question. I wanted to know that there were times when you wanted to do something or pursue something but fails to be successful in it. So how did you become successful in it after your failure? Because people leave their hopes easily. Yeah, Robin, you are so right. I cannot say more. You're so right. The thing is, and it sounds easy, but it's so hard. Yeah. Sometimes the only thing that differentiates the successful people from the not so successful people is that the successfuls don't give up after they fail, right? Sometimes it's just not stopping. And in business, there's even a statistic for that. So 80% of businesses are out of business after 5 years. 80%. So 8 out of 10 are out of business after 5 years. So sometimes it's really just not stopping. And to be honest with you, Robin, it's absolutely normal when in the moment you fail, when you doubt yourself, when the hope leaves you, it's absolutely normal. There's nothing wrong with that. The thing is, take your time to heal your wounds. Yeah, it might be a day you cry, it might be a week, it might be 2 weeks. It's okay, but after then, get up again and try again. Yeah. And really, the successful people of this world should be the inspiration to you, because when you look at them, the problem in this today's world with social media is we see a lot of successful people and their successes, and everything looks so, they became successful overnight. Yeah. But we don't see their real stories. And the real story is, most of the people who have success, for most of them, it was so hard. Yeah. If you listen to, take the great pop stars, take Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran, I love him. Yeah. There's even a YouTube clip. You can Google. I did not prepare it for today because I thought maybe with the internet connection it's not that perfect. But do me a favor, after our session, Google Ed Sheeran singing badly. Just Google Ed Sheeran singing badly, and then you will find a YouTube clip of Ed Sheeran, who is in a talk show, and the talk show host says to Ed Sheeran, "Oh, Ed," or Ed Sheeran told the story. So that was it. Ed Sheeran told the story. You know, people always tell me, "Ed Sheeran, you are such a talented singer," and he says, "No, I'm not talented." And to prove that he's not talented, he plays on his iPhone. He has a very old recording when he began singing, and he played it live on TV. And Ed Sheeran, he sang so bad, you cannot listen to him. It was yeah, you know, really bad, really bad. And so Ed Sheeran was not that star when he began. But what he did is, he did not stop, and he practiced more than others. And he, you know, he showed the grit, and he stayed on it. And today he's singing great. But when he began, he was not great. And so the most terrible thing we can do is to think there are people who are talented, and they are, you know, for them, life waits and success waits. And there are other people who are not talented, who, yeah, took the wrong card from life, and oh, too bad for you. Nothing could be more wrong. Yeah, nothing could be more wrong. And maybe, Claudia, am I allowed to share my slide now?
Yes, yes, of course,
Because
of course. No, go ahead.
I think it's the perfect.
Moment.
And we can continue with questions. We can continue with questions after that, because the concept I wanted to share with you today is the concept of dynamic mindset. Yeah, and it's a very simple concept that I show it to you briefly, and then we can take the rest of the time discussing about it and have more questions of you. I really did a condensed version of it, but it really is one of the concepts that changed a lot for me. The concept is by, I typed that in, Carol Dweck. Yeah, Carol Dweck is, she wrote the book, and the book is called Mindset. And I don't know, Claudia, is it possible if I'd love to give a gift to everyone here. I'd love to gift the book of Carol Dweck to each and every one. Is it possible that we send it?
Yes, yes, we already made this, I think, once. Marlies, how did you manage with your book?
I think Shika, our manager, she ordered the books from Kolkata and sent them partly directly to the students, partly they took it from her.
So maybe, Marlies, we can talk about that later, because I want to have everyone have this book from her, and I wanna gift it to you, so you can really read it, because this book changed a lot for me, and it changed a lot for so many of my employees. I also gift it to my employees when they have challenging situations, because as I said before, each and everyone has his or her challenges, right? And Carol Dweck wrote this great book about mindset, and you will get the book from me. But let me give you the concept in brief. Yeah. So she's really asking the question, what's the right mindset to succeed in life or to succeed in business? And for that, she really differentiates between two different mindsets. One mindset is the static mindset, and the other one is the dynamic mindset. Static mindset are people who think that success in life depends on talent, intelligence, personality, and you are either born with that, or too bad for you, you are not, right? So this is really static mindset. Static mindset thinks, Ed Sheeran, you must have so much talent because you're so successful. Yeah, they really think Ed Sheeran was born, and when he was born, the nurse said, oh wow, look at him, he's Ed Sheeran, new in this world, and he's so talented and he must become a star. So this is static mindset. And the other one is dynamic mindset. And the dynamic mindset are people who go through life thinking that success is just a result of hard work, learning, training, getting better, perseverance, grit. And those are two fundamentally different concepts. And you might already guess which is the concept that brings you more success and joy in life. It's certainly the dynamic mindset. But I want to give you some context for that. So give me a second. I have to just adjust my monitor. Here we go. So a fixed mindset who has to deal with negative criticism always feels attacked and feels the need to defend yourself. Versus a growth mindset who gets criticism is asking for feedback. How can I do things better? I'll give you the slides as well, Mali, so that you can send it around. Yeah. So criticism, a fixed mindset always feels attacked and defends. Versus a growth mindset actively asks, okay, thanks for letting me know. How can I do that better? This is growth mindset. When it comes to others who succeed, a fixed mindset is envious and hypercritical. Oh, look at him, he, or look at her, and making people down. Versus a growth mindset, when a growth mindset person sees someone who is successful, they are asking them, how did you manage to do that? They are curious. When a fixed mindset comes to a difficult obstacle, he or she is throwing in the towel because it's too difficult. And a growth mindset says, oh, it's just a great opportunity to learn and to grow. So you can already see those mindsets really produce a different result. Mm-hmm. And here comes a very interesting thing. And the interesting thing is, one, you can learn to have a growth mindset. So if you see yourself and see the things of the fixed mindset, and now you think, oh, I might be the fixed mindset type. Good news for you, growth mindset can be learned. It's the one thing. The second thing is, and this is very interesting, people can have different mindsets in different areas of life. So it can be the case that in sports, you have a growth mindset. And in work or at university, you have a fixed mindset. It's really that you can have these different mindsets in different areas of your life. It's not that you have one mindset for your whole life. Yeah. Others have a growth mindset at university and have a fixed mindset when it comes to their career, for example. And what I want to show you now is Carol Dweck did a very fundamental experiment. She also did that. She built a hypothesis and she then did a test to see, is that a good idea or a bad idea? And I want to walk you through that experiment. And there's a movie as well. I sent you the YouTube link, but as I don't know the internet connection, I'll do it with the picture slides. Yeah. Carol Dweck did an experiment with 400 students. Yeah. And it was 400 kids. And she gave the 400 kids an easy IQ test. Yeah. And then she praised 200 of the kids. To 200 of them, she said, "Oh, you must be very smart." And the other 200, after the test, she praised and said, "Oh, you must have worked so hard." So she took the 400 kids and split the group into two. And she did two different ways of praising them. One group, 200, she praised for intelligence. So she really, she triggered the static mindset. The second group, she praised for the effort. And she triggered the dynamic mindset. And the interesting thing is, she then invited them all to do a second test. And for the second test, all the kids were allowed to choose. Do they want to have a harder version than the first test? Or do they want to have an easier version? And you will surely do well on it. Yeah. And here comes the first very, very interesting results. So you remember 400 kids, they all get a test. And after that, she praised 200 for intelligence and she praised 200 for effort. Then she offered the second test. And the interesting thing is 67%, of the kids who were praised for their intelligence chose the easier version. And 92% of the kids who were praised for the effort chose the harder second test. So just to translate that to you is, people who were praised for intelligence were triggered a static mindset. And static mindset means I am born with talent or I am not born with talent. Yeah. And life is a test to find out if I'm intelligent or not. But I cannot change. I am born with it or I'm not born with it. So what people with a static mindset tend to do is they try to avoid challenges, because challenges might turn out that they are not as intelligent as they were thought they would be. Whereas on the other side, people who have a dynamic mindset are always in a mindset, okay, give me the challenge. I don't care if I pass the test or fail the test. I want to learn. I want to grow. I want to get better. So 92% of the people with the dynamic mindset said, give me the harder test. I want to show what I'm able to do. And if I'm not able to show, I want to learn. And I want to grow. And I want to get better. So people with a static mindset are usually in some kind of fear. Whereas people with a dynamic mindset always have this kind of hunger to learn and grow. So this was the first very interesting result of the study. And the second thing was, at the end of the experiment, she gave all the kids an impossible test. So the third test was an impossible test that nobody was able to work out. And again, she watched the two groups. The two groups, one with the dynamic mindset and one with the static mindset. And here comes the interesting thing. People with the dynamic mindset worked harder, worked longer, and had more fun with the impossible test. people with the static mindset became frustrated and gave up early. And then they got a final test, a fourth test, which was as easy as the first test. And here comes the crazy thing, the really crazy thing. After this whole process, people got the same test than they got at the beginning. And people with the dynamic mindset performed 30% better than at the first test. And people with the static mindset performed 20% worse. So the difference between the two groups was 50%. And the only thing that happened was that people with a static mindset became more and more frustrated and fearful over the process, so that they performed really bad at the end. Whereas people with the dynamic mindset got more and more fired up about, oh, wow, this is an opportunity to learn. Wow, this is a great chance to grow. So that at the end, they perform even much better than they did at the beginning. And this is the conclusion of Carol Dweck. She focuses this experiment when it comes to how should we praise. But at the end of the day, it's also what we tell ourselves and what kind of inner talk do we have with ourselves. She says, don't praise for intelligence or talent, praise for the process and effort. So at the end of the day, and I'm going back to this overview, the concept, and you will see it in the book, and I'm looking forward to you reading it and sharing your thoughts about it. The big conclusion is that if we are able to achieve a personal mindset that is learning, training, staying on it, having the grit, will lead to our success. And it's not that much if we have the talent or the intelligence or the personality. And the stories we always tell, there are people who are charismatic and people who are not. You are either in one group or another. And if you are charismatic, you can have a career, and if you are not, you can have none. It's, sorry to say, it's bullshit, right? I have so many very successful people who are introverted, who have different personalities. All they have in common is they show the hard work, they are willing to learn, they are willing to get better every day. They use setbacks and failures as a chance to learn and to grow. They stay on it. This is really the core principle of the dynamic mindset. And what I learned from Carol Dweck is each and every moment in life is a chance to strengthen this part of mindset in us. It's, if you get a bad grade at a university test, it's not a grade, not your intelligence has been tested. Your effort has been tested. And some people need to learn more and some people need to learn less. It doesn't matter. We all can achieve what we want to achieve with a dynamic mindset much better than with a static mindset. Because as you have seen, hopefully in these experiments, people with a static mindset tend to give up. And as we discussed before, sometimes in life, it's just about not giving up. And this is really a nice conclusion that I took from Carol Dweck and that I wanted to share with you, because when Claudia invited me to spend the time with you here, I really thought a lot, what can I share with you that hopefully is valuable to you. And at the end of the day, I came to the point that no matter where you are on this world, no matter where you are in life, no matter where you are in your career, no matter where you are in your business, each and everyone has his doubts, each and everyone has his failure, each and everyone is thinking, has his insecurities. everyone. But what unites all of us is that there is really two things in life that we absolutely do have control. We cannot control the weather, right? We cannot control if there is a cyclone or not. We cannot control if people are buying our products. We cannot control. There's so many things we cannot control. But there are two things that we can always control, which is at the end of the day, to me, this ultimate power of the humans. And the one thing is, we can control how we see things in life. We have absolute control. We have control over how we see things in life. And the second thing is, we have control what we do about it. And no matter in what situation you are in life, it's those two things that you have absolute control. How you see things and what you're gonna do about it. And so this led me to the point that I want to give you some model or some framework that helped me when it came to how do I see things in life. And there's this famous, I don't know if it's quote or wisdom or whatever, that life is always happening for us and not to us. Yeah. So that it's our power as humans that no matter what happens, we have the power to decide what's our conclusion. If my business is hit by an economical crisis due to the COVID pandemic, it's my decision, what conclusion do I draw? And as I said before, I don't know the truth. I don't know anything. The conclusion can be just stay on it and show the grit. The conclusion can be I should have changed my business model way earlier, and now is the time to do it. The conclusion can be I should enter a different business. The conclusion can be now I know how much I want it and stay on it. So I don't know what's the truth. Everyone has to decide for him or herself. But what we can always do is we decide about how we see things and what we got to do about it. And so I think when we're talking about how we can build up the strength that we need for life and for business and to build up something meaningful, the most important thing to do is strengthen ourselves in our head and in our mind to deal better with challenges. The thing is, the most common misunderstanding is that the goal in life is to avoid challenges. I think it's really hard to avoid challenges. You cannot control if you are faced with a challenge or not. I think the goal in life should be that we get better in dealing with challenges, because challenges will always be, but what we can do about it is getting better to deal with the challenges. And I hope that this concept of the dynamic mindset, with this idea I showed you in the slides, and you will get the book as soon as possible. We'll arrange that afterwards, that this will help you with the things you deal with. And I'm happy to take the rest of the time, if that's okay. When there are further questions, I'm happy to take the questions. Thank you so much.
Hello, Philip. Hello.
Hello.
Philip, my question, please reply to my question.
Question
the first
you were
question.
asking in the beginning.
Yeah.
Raju, yeah, sorry. Can you say it just once again? I thought it was about leadership. I took some notes. I'm so sorry, Raju. Please just once again in a nutshell for me.
Wait. Will you please tell some means some guiding beliefs or discipline that actually directs the leader how the leader will act when he is in the public.
Yeah.
Mainly those of the very great leaders, because if you tell, I will also do like that.
Yeah, okay. Let me tell you a few of the guiding beliefs of very successful leaders. The one is leadership is about serving the whole thing, which means people and results. And I have to, this sounds very simple, but as you might know, there's a huge discussion, even in the business world. Is leadership now, are people the most important thing, or are results the most important thing? And the thing is, leadership is about people and results. And you as a leader have to serve both, yeah, which is really a crucial thing, because give you an example. Those who think serving people is the only thing leadership needs to do. If a business does not deliver the results, a business will go bankrupt, right? And so no one will say, thank you, you have been such a kind boss and such a nice boss, but we did not produce the result, the business went bankrupt. Nobody will say thank you, yeah? So it's really caring about business, about people and results. So leadership always serves the whole thing, is the first point. Second point is, the job of leadership is helping others to achieve success. What does that mean? The most common misunderstanding of leaders in this world is leaders think they must be the best in doing their work by themselves. But that's not the point. Leaders need to empower others to do great work and to achieve success. And leaders need to define their own success by others on their team being successful. And this is a whole change of perspective, because if you, sometimes as a leader, if you want to be successful, the most easy thing to do is to do the work by yourself. And then you get successful. But leadership is not about doing the work by yourself. It's about empowering others to do successful work, and with that, getting successful by yourself. So I'd say this is the second guiding belief. And let me think of the third one.
Very great leaders like Obama or Trump.
So when you think about the great leaders, maybe I can give you recommend you one thing as well. We'll send you the link. I did, because Claudia, I did one podcast I did in English. You know which one? With Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, so I have one of my podcasts is really in English. I'll send you the link with Arnold Schwarzenegger, who also did a very great answer to your question. So if you think about the very, very great leaders, for them it comes really down to, I'd say, two things. One is setting an inspiring vision of tomorrow. Great leaders, and especially great leaders in public, understand that people follow visions. They don't follow tasks. They don't follow programmatic issues. They follow a big vision of tomorrow. Something that is worth striving for. So one thing I'd say, setting a common vision. And the second thing, and it comes really down to the thing we talked about at the beginning, when we talked about a successful grassroots campaign or movement. So it's really setting a vision. And the second thing is finding a way to empower people to contribute something meaningful to the bigger something. It's all about empowerment. So I'd say when you talk about the big leaders, Obama and so on, it's setting a vision and empowering others to be part of this vision. It's really the two things. Hope that helps.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So we could do one final question, I think. If there's something, I'll look
there was the question of Samrat in the beginning about time management.
Time management. Yeah. So I understand why you are asking this question, because it's a question for me as well. First point. Yeah. I think for everyone. So one thing that really changed a lot in my mindset when it came to time management is we tend to put a lot of pressure on ourselves that we have to define a kind of vertical priority list for time management for our life. So, to give you an example, sometimes there is this discussion between a husband and wife when it comes to what is more important, your family or your career. You have to decide what is number one, what is number two. And I think this hard vertical priority setting is not really helpful in life. So I changed to another approach, which is not a vertical priority setting, but a horizontal priority setting, which means that some things are allowed to be important beside each other. What does that mean? You can have more things that matter to you. When you are with your family in that moment is the most important thing. When you are in the job, in that moment, the job is the most important thing, So you are allowed to have your most important thing for the moment. It's not necessary to decide your priority list for life. This is one thing. Second thing, which is crucial, for the moment or for the day, you should have your priorities. So what I really do in the morning is, or in the evening for the next day, is I sit down and think about what's important for the day to come. And this sounds easy, but it really sets a lot of focus. This is the second thing I'd give you. The third thing I'd give you is most of the people have way too many things on their list. Way too many things. So most of the people, when I say, okay, write down what's important, what do you want to achieve today, they write down 12 things. When the only thing they can do on a day is 3, right? So the problem is, when you know you can only achieve 3 things today, and you write down 12, there's a part of your brain capacity that always goes into the unmanaged tasks. What does that mean? You write down 12 and you always walk around and say, okay, I should do this, I should do this, I should do this, and I should do this, and this is, and you spend so much time thinking about things that are on your list, but you are not doing, that you are blocked to do the things that are really important. So what I usually do is, when I sit down in the morning and I write down my priorities for the day, I write down 12 things and I really cross out 8 of them and let 5 things here, and then I commit, but these 5 things I'm gonna do today no matter what. Yeah. So less is more is the message. So this is really are the important things for me when it comes to time. I do the final question from the chat. I have a question: how do successful individuals use their failures to achieve success, and what can students learn from them? The first thing is really when I have a failure after this kind of emotional phase of a day or 2 or 3, when I'm sad and think, oh, too bad. And when I get up, I sit down and I really ask the question on a piece of paper: what's in it for me in this failure? What was the gift? What was the gift of experience that was in this failure? What have I learned about it? What will I do differently because of what I learned? And this is the treasure of failure. This is one thing. The second thing is, and I have to be honest with you, this is really a thing that fueled my success over the last years. I started talking about my failures publicly. And surprise, surprise, people love when you talk about your failures, much more than when you talk about your accomplishments. So I started talking about my failures, which made me a lot more relatable, which made people come to me and ask questions, and which offered me the opportunity to learn from others. I started to talk about it. So one is really sit down, ask the question, what's in it for me? And the second thing is starting to talk about your failures and embrace them and make it part of your journey, make it part of your value. Yeah. I really can recommend that.
Thank you, Philipp. Wonderful.
Hello. I still have a question.
Philipp, you told me you have to leave on time.
Yeah. So while we take this one final question, and
we need to make one picture.
Okay.
We don't understand.
Yeah, we need a picture. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, picture of the group. Malis, can you make it?
Yes.
So everybody, should we make it first? So if Philipp runs away, we have at least a picture. Everybody, please turn on the camera. All of you, because I want to see your faces. So, yeah. I think Somnath also, please.
You look great.
Faces.
Rupa, Susmita.
You look great.
Yes, so that Philipp knows whom he was talking to. Very good.
So glad to see you.
Yes. And Susmita, can you turn on the camera?
Here we go.
Here. Okay.
I will show you.
Yeah, but Philipp, we need you also.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
Sorry.
Alice, magst du das Foto? Deine Kamera ist besser.
Yes.
So,
Many already.
Zähl mal runter. 3, 2, 1, and now smile. Okay? Ist was geworden?
You look great.
Yes, everybody looks great. So this is and before the last question of Raju, we said that you will make it a second session, Philipp.
I would say as we had this spontaneous idea with the book, yeah.
Yes.
Maybe we can organize that with the book.
Okay.
And when you got the book and had some time to look in it, maybe we do a second session, huh? Or
because I thought that you will give some homework. This is what we were talking about. Or should we discuss it?
I forgot my homework. I'm sorry.
Okay. So maybe we do that, and then I put it in our WhatsApp group, this empowering group, because this would make sense then to have a follow-up session to talk about the homework.
Absolutely.
Or reading the book could be a part of homework.
Absolutely.
Yes, but then somehow apply it to your own life. Don't you think so?
Yeah. But I would love, if you ask me, I would love to do it, to send you the book, and then really everybody needs to draw a conclusion for his or himself personally, and then come back into a session and talk about that. I would love to do that.
Okay, let's do this, because this is our experience, that it makes much sense that, you know, you have a homework, you think about what you've learned, and then we discuss it in one more follow-up question session. Okay.
And maybe everybody can tell what he took out from this session of today for himself now without the book. And then
perfect.
The big homework will be the book.
Perfect. That's a big homework,
Okay.
That's a big homework. Okay.
Or maybe they should describe one situation when they really needed a growth mindset.
Yeah.
In their life.
Maybe one thing where you just describe one situation where you recognized you were in a static mindset.
Yes.
And one situation where you acted with a growth mindset. That's great.
Good, because it's from your life, so we learn more about you, and you can also find some solutions for, you know.
That's great. I'm so sorry, Raju, if it's okay for you, just maybe send me your question and I will answer it via email if that's okay, because I really need to.
I will tell to Claudia. Claudia will tell to you.
Okay, and then we will have a second session, so then we can also discuss about it. Okay, and you please stay here because I have asked Zuki and Kenai, who are in Austria now, also to tell about their experience. So you learn also from that. And we thank a lot, Philipp. Thank you so much. It was a really
thank you, Philipp.
The pleasure was really all mine. You are such great group of people, and it was
Thank you, Philipp.
Thank you so much.
And lots of inspiration.
Very inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. See you all.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Claudia also.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay.
So I'm sure you've learned a lot. Can somebody just, maybe we ask like 2 or 3 people, what did you get, Raju, as you were very active during the session? Thank you so much. What was the main idea you got now by Philipp's speech and all his explanations?
Like I will try to create a vision and as much as possible. Suppose I will create more and more vision. Then I lose this vision. I will go to that vision. I will try to learn from this vision. What the vision which will actually work, I will go that way. This is these are like my learning. Then I will not easily give up. I will try to like stay with the challenge. I did not means truly as a if you take me as a people, like I have very poor means poor ability to deal with the challenge. But as Philipp says, I will actually work hard to be with the challenge and deal. I will and deal with the challenge. This I will do. It is very. It is what I good. This what is good. I learn from Philipp. Thank you very much.
Very important. Is Jagat, you are here? Jagat?
Yes, Claudia.
Yes, please. Because I think you are also a good example for, you know, a growth mindset. You had, we talked a little bit about, but I don't know if everybody joined when we had this session in the Nalanda school. You were telling about you know, losing your job and then getting into this job interview now with Romania. So when was your point when you chose or you decided really to give the best and to, again, you know, get out from depression and challenge yourself?
Okay. So when I was out of the job, then I was very much depressed. Then it will take a certain time, means to cry, means to feel sad. It will take some time, and after that it will means after that you have to again start preparing for yourself. Otherwise, how many days you will cry? Then slowly means you will recover from all the sad phases of your life, and then what I have started preparing again, and then I got the job from Romania.
But tell about this job interview, because I think it was very tough, wasn't it? What did they want to hear from you or know?
Okay, from the job interview, they were asking me lots of questions. Means there three of them was there, so 3 of them had different field of expertise. So they were asking one after another. They were asking different questions, means in details about the all about means tech field. So one after another, I have to answer. And when you sit in front of them, means you will obviously feel nervous, and then they were asking me, and I was giving one answer. Then means another one started asking me again. So like this, the interview had happened, and the proper answer I could not means gather. because it was very hard interview I have faced.
Oh, yes, it sounds very professional. So what did you learn in this interview? So can you give some advice to the others who probably also will have some job interviews? How do you have to be very much prepared, I think. This is the main thing.
The thing is that the field in which you are there, the basics you need to clear, all the basics you need to clear yourself. Otherwise, everything they will ask from the basics only. If you are basically clear, they will take you and they will prepare you for the work.
And did you have also this point, tell me about yourself, this question? Did they want you also to tell something else than your CV and what you have, your skills?
2 interview I had. One was tech field and one was HR round. So in the HR round, they were asking me about myself. There was the CV was also there, but outside the CV, they are asking me about my family and everything, what I do, rather than studying computer application or everything they were asking.
I see. Okay. So, and you got the job. So what do you think was the main point that they took you?
What Raju told me that there were many applicant was there, but they could not compete with the 3% was there taking interview. They were very serious and they were asking lots of questions. So my basics are clear, and I have given all the questions. Almost all the question I have given answers. That's why they have taken. So Raju told me that 90% from the first interview only. He told me that 90% I got the job, because he have seen all other interview also.
Yes, and already you are doing all the paperwork to go to Europe.
Yeah, I don't know. I have done the police verification thing. I have sent it to the HR, and now he is doing all the paperwork, and then she will send me. Then again, I have to apply for the visa.
Okay, okay, very exciting. So let's just thank you, Tagat. Let's make one more question to somebody who joined. There was no girl speaking. Sabina, what did you take away from this session today? What is the main idea that you got inspired from?
Hello, Claudia.
Hello, good to
Yes,
see you.
from today's session, I have learned that whatever my mind should be like, I should keep my mind dynamic way to grab all the opportunities.
Dynamic and give lots of efforts. Yeah.
Yes.
And even
to
if
grab all the things, yes, in my life, so I will be dynamic one.
Yes. And Milon, what about you? What did you learn today? Is there any situation you can think of that this is the homework that you needed really the growth mindset? So not to give up and continue?
Yes, when he was talking about the insecurity, and we should be, it is common in every life, and we should be dealing with it. And he also talk about like we should be trying many different things, and we should not give up. And one thing I actually like, which in after my class 10 also I was trying to do, is that we should be getting into some organization or a company so that we can contribute and learn something from that and gain experience before joining any company for working and all. So these are the main things, the things I've learned from this day.
Okay, but which company did you get in after class 10?
No, I was thinking of doing that one as in like normal, not company. I wouldn't say like a company, but as in to do some job in some nearby factories and all.
Okay.
So that one.
I see. Okay. And Biswajit, because last time when we had the session at Nalanda, after you told me I didn't call you, so I will do it now. Biswajit, what did you learn today? What is the main point for you?
The main point for me, there's the dynamic mindset. because in our field, if you have a knowledge, then you can earn money. Without knowledge, you can we cannot survive. Means in our field, like accounts and taxation and audit, we have to learning and training practical work, so that you can gain more experience and it will help in your future.
So
So
you need
I always yes, I will always believe in a dynamic mindset, because whatever you learn these days, it will help you one day in future.
It's true. So in which precise situation did you need that? For instance, I can tell you about me. Yesterday, I had my radio show with politician, a very important politician. And in the evening, I had to do something for the morning show of the next day. And I was so tired that I really thought I can't make it. But I was forcing myself in the evening, in the night, to just sit in front of the laptop and do my work, because I knew it's very important that I promised it. So I have to stick to my promise so that people know that I'm a reliable person. So is there anything in your life where you need, and this was also like growth mindset, can you explain a situation you needed really to discipline yourself?
Yes, discipline means in our office, the ma'am give some goals, and she make me understand that how the work will be done, and means she will help me a lot in a practical field. So in that way, it will help me.
Mm-hmm. So you still have somebody who is also helping you, so that you can
Yes.
also, and that you need to make lots of extra hours, I think.
Yes, because every day in our field, every day you have a face a new situation. Like every day you build a new situation, new things you will know.
Okay. Is there anybody else who wants to share his experience having a growth mindset in when you're doing your college, your studies? Shahrukh, you were giving also a question about failures. Is it where are you? Yes. So what about you and doing your studies? You need lots of to discipline yourself, giving lots of extra efforts also.
Yes, good evening, Claudia.
Good evening.
Yes, some of the important thing I've learned from this session is that understanding the difference between the fixed and the growth mindset, and the value of effort. In talent, for the fixed mindset, we realize that we having a talent or the fix, or for the growth mindset, we have to focus on the effort or the process of growing. These are the things I've learned from this session.
Yes.
And setting from the session, from the beginning of the session, I've learned that set a realistic goal.
Setting goals?
We have to set the goal, setting the realistic goal.
Realistic goal.
Possible to achieve.
Yes. I think it was a very good example he was telling about the food stall. If you want to make a restaurant, first try it out small if your idea is a good one, without a big investment. Just try it with something not costing a lot. I think this was a very good example. Okay. So then we, yes, I think we go to Austria. Surcho and Kenai, who are here for 2 weeks already. You came for doing harvesting. I got you the job together, and you, yes, tell about your experience. So how is it? How is it? First of all, how is the experience to stay in Austria? What is different in Austria than in India? Except, the weather is not this hot. It starts to get hot now. But what was difficult for you to get accustomed to now being 2 weeks here? Who is speaking?
First, when I first landed in Austria, so I was very tired through the long journey, but the air was so fresh and it was cold. Not so cold, the wind was blowing, and it seems like I landed in a dreamy land. And yesterday we went to a castle, maybe, and it was looking like you see pictures, and you suddenly got up from your dream. Everything is so clean, greenery, which might take India for another 50 years maybe to be like Austria. Everything is clean, roads is clean, everything is organized. People are always saying hello. If you don't know also, they are so friendly. So Austria is like a dreamy land for me.
Oh yeah, you make a thank you. We are quite flattered that you have this experience. You didn't meet the grumpy people. They are just friendly ones. Good. Yes, it's clean. It's the traffic is completely different. It's quiet. You know, we don't blow the horn all the time.
Yes, we never heard any boom boom anyway.
Yes, we put the waste into the garbage and not on the streets.
There are different dustbins for everything, and we put.
It's true. And what was your first impression when you came here?
As I told everybody, firstly, good evening to my Austrian family over here, and to all my brothers, sisters, and friends from India. Miss you all. The Indians, miss you all. And the nature. You know, I am coming from India to a beautiful place. It's not like I am just insulting my India. Yeah, Austria is very beautiful, and the weather is absolutely fine, and it is fresh. You will feel light over here, and the soon you will be taking the breath over here, you will be feeling like you are inhaling some fresh air, and you will feel yourself very light, and and what is it? There are so much greenery and pollution very less. I think there is no pollution because I'm coming from polluted place to this fresh place. I'm not finding any pollution, and the people are so kind. They are like in my country, you know, nobody waits for the car or the woman carrying her son or daughter with her crossing the road, and the person taking the car speed, not waiting. But here the people are like, they are waiting. They are telling the car, please go. First you go, then we will go. They are waiting, and they're no in the villages, like it's a village is like a town in our country. So well established, and there is no signal, and they are still following the rules. And it really
now can you imagine how we feel in India? Okay,
yes.
Being crushed all the time from right side, left
from
side.
India here and feeling so happy and excited, and you are coming from this organized place to you are understanding to a less organized place. You all will be like frustrated. Stress. So it's like lots of greenery and mountain, and about the weather.
And people are healthy. And here the people are very healthy, hygienic. And
Yeah,
even the old fellow.
আমি তো বলছি people here the olds, and I'm not telling a born one or the little ones. They are like grown up. They are like, it seems like they are independent in themselves. They are very mature. Means I can see myself. I am so much grown up, but I can see people below my age. They are so mature, grown up, and a good standard. Less not good standard, me less standard. And the olds, they are so much energetic. They are cycling the whole day. We see people when we go for harvesting, we see old people cycling. They are so fit and fine.
Yes. It was always my impression that you are much more mature than our kids. This was my impression in India, that you experienced so many situations our kids don't know, that you always made a much more mature impression to me than our kids in Austria. So my impression was the other way around.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's like our India is like populated, huge population. So we just like what to say, there are jobs, secure job opportunities are less, so we have to like cultivate ourselves, cultivate our brain. So in that way, I think we are like matured, but the way of living, the way of talking with people, being kind, so it's like in Austria it is much more, it is there than in my country.
And we try to do lots of sports. You're right. Yeah, it's normal to go jogging in the morning and go cycling. Yes.
And like Surya told, 1 minute, like Surya told, we went to a castle. Castle was a far bit away. We can see the whole Vienna from there. It was really a page from a book. It means my eyes couldn't believe. It was so much. I told him first this one that it is looking like a photo. It's looking like a photo. We are seeing a photo.
Yes, but it's also a very special place for us. Sie waren in Schönbrunn gestern.
Okay.
Yes. So, but talking about your work, so you are doing harvesting work. You will stay for 4 months. It's not so easy as you told me yesterday. It's quite you need lots of power to do it, lots of energy. So what is the difficult part in this kind of work and what is the easy part? So what are your learnings in now after 2 weeks?
Okay. The difficult part I'm saying, see, like from school to my college, I have been taught about particular subject, not about harvesting, but about commerce, my field related commerce, where my mind was like going to a office, working, or not to a field, but to a corporate sector, maybe. So the difficult part here, I just change it to a harvesting part where I need a strong body, physical power to do the work. There I would have in my where I was where I had to go like for the corporate sector, where there I would have need a sitting bench and some typing speed on my fingers to type on the laptop or computer, but here I need the full strength of my body to do the work. So it's only the difficult part, and I think this is new, and that's why I'm feeling little pain in my body, but it's only 2 weeks. I think after a month my body will accustom with the thing, the work, and the mind will also take, yeah, you have to do this much, you have to put this much energy on this. So I think it will be okay. And only we had one work which was hard, the garlic harvest. As I told you, Claudia, we have to bend, and we don't usually bend in India so much. So here we have to bend. So for a continuous time. So that's why it's a pain, but now the pain is reduced, and that's only the problem. And lot of things we have done, there was no such problem. And we are learning how to packaging, which is supposedly I go in India and work in a factory where packaging is done. So here I got the knowledge how is packaging is done, labeling, and how they are doing the machinery. So it is also good because I'm prior getting to a job in India, here I'm getting to learn about it. So which is also helping me in what I say, increasing the information about packaging and these related jobs.
Okay. You are in a growth mindset, Kenai. You are already in a growth mindset.
Yes.
Yes, as many brothers and my friends about growth mindset, I understood what they have learned from here, and I also knew what was being taught in this session.
And Surcho, so what is your experience? You told me yesterday that people are very much on time in Austria.
They are very much on time because one day we went at 7:07. Then also boss told us that you should be before in Austria, you should be before 10 minutes every time they are punctual. And whenever the other employees or the workers they take rest, they hardly take rest for 2 minutes and they start working. If it was India, means what I have seen, means I was also in the field for my father. They usually take rest for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Then no one is saying boss is not there, so they sit down. But yeah, we were talking about it only. that people hardly cheat on boss. They are doing their job very sincerely.
It's a trust.
Everything depends on trust. You write your own timing. No one is there to see when you are going, when you are
But
taking.
he's also a very exceptional boss.
Yeah. Eric is always very friendly and always invite us. Then is very.
And you, how does your body feel, Socho, after the garlic harvest?
I was in very much pain because I knew we had to go to Vienna, but I thought that there might be some light walk. Then we go to Vienna, enjoy. Then we went to that castle and it was little inclined, so I was not able to. Barbara knows it.
Okay, also
Finding
Muskelkater.
some shortcuts so that it don't hurt us. And the walk culture is very nice. They are very friendly.
So you like the work, or is it just for you to earn money, or is there also some I don't know, interest or some curiosity?
Yes, only the harvest work was so difficult, but yeah, means I'm liking means it's a part of life, and when I'm not liking, I'm usually thinking about the salary.
Yes, it's also motivation, of
After
course.
finishing my college. That way I'm taking motivation on the field, and mostly we have light work, not so hard, so I'm liking.
So what can you tell the others about what you've learned if they want to, for instance,
in life there will be different types of work where you don't want to do, but you have to do because it give you experience, knowledge, then it prepares you, then it helps you to have a growth mindset, as Malish told. So these are the most important thing, that you will go through different phases of your life and in job life also.
Okay.
Helpful in the later part of life, then how to cope up. And
yes. Asad, hello, good evening. Good to see you. Another one who is working already in Europe. How are you?
I'm running to my apartment to join the meeting.
Great, great. So what is we haven't talked for a long time. Are there new learnings? I don't know where you stand now in your job. If you are still in the calculation office? Yes.
Yeah, I'm still in the calculation office, and now I am much more involved in everything with the customer, with the sales team, with the manager, with the production team. We have to make, like tomorrow we have every Tuesday we have the production meeting where we have to give the report of what we are producing, what is the next production, and what is the future. So we are working like 2 weeks ahead of what we are going to get the contract. And it's good.
Okay. So is there anything that you have learned more since it takes, I think we talked months ago. So is there anything, new skills or new, I don't know, ideas you can tell about job life, how to behave there, or important things you can tell the others who are still at college?
Now, the thing I'm learning and learned more is about the Microsoft Excel. It's very, very important in every job field. And also, I have already informed you that we have 2 new colleagues, and another colleague is coming for the calculation department. And it is referenced by the Giral from the India. Someone from India is again coming from Himachal Pradesh. He's the friend of Giral. And also, like currently I'm giving training to 2 of the new colleague, and another one is coming, so I have to again give him. So in this period when I'm giving the training and when I'm sharing my knowledge, so in that period I'm like boosting my confidence, boosting everything what I've learned, so recalling everything and making me confident, and also learning new thing, like when I'm teaching something and they have the question and which I don't know, so I am asking my boss, well, I didn't know about this, please let me know about this. So like this way I'm learning more and more thing. The job is like, and about the responsibilities, like yes, what I was listening in Europe is very important about the timing. We have to be very much punctual. We have to give everything on time, because like for the business case, you cannot delay anything. If you are delayed, then we have a claim, and with the claim we have to like minus the currency or the money. So it's a loss, big loss for the company, and sometimes we have to be very, very focused on this. That's why now we are working very, very hard. And like usually, I think last month we got a complaint that our department is very lazy and we are not working much. So my manager and everyone, we decided to like split the work. Like now we are four people working in the calculation, and like we were like fighting for the work, who will do what and who will, like some days I was sitting idle. So it was very good that we splitted the work. So now I am taking care of the product, like the client from the Austria and the South and all the Arabic countries and the Romania. So 3 countries I'm taking care of, and another one is taking care of Japan, another taking care of China, another taking India, Pakistan. So we are splitted, and now everything is very smooth, very easy, and very efficient.
So you organize the work better now, so that you
Yes.
can be on time with your calculation. But it's very good, sometimes painful to see the consequence. You know, if you are not on time, that you have claims, you have to pay some money, or the company, it's costs for the company. So I think like this, you also get more, everybody gets more disciplined in delivering what is asked for.
And challenging is that the language, but still I'm trying to, like previously I was learning just Romanian, but now I have to learn the Hungarian language also, because most of the colleagues are Hungarian and I have to speak with them. And my manager said that, Azad, when you're in the production meeting, we people, we are very comfortable with our language, so please try to learn. So like I have learned the basic. Maybe I don't speak much, but I understand everything what their conversation is going on.
Really? So you understand Romanian and Hungarian?
Yeah.
Really? Cool.
Yes.
This is great. So you give lots of efforts. So has anybody a question to our working crowd in Europe?
So Azad, I have started learning Romanian. So do I need to start with Hungarian also?
I think Romanian is the best thing first. So should I ask you something in Romanian?
40 to 45 days means I have
Cum te
learned
numești?
classes. I have learned means different words and how to frame a sentence. And if it is very speedy, I cannot understand. If it is very slow, then if I get the word, then only I can translate.
No, it's like when we were in India, we also had the same problem, and we were like trying to spell the word, but it was very tough. And we thought, oh my God, German is much easier than what I have to learn Romanian. But once I am here, like roaming with the people, making friends, talking to them, learning. But to be honest, I started with some bad words, learning the bad words. And then slowly, I started with the good and learning everything. And my manager also advised me to learn any language, you have to first learn the bad words. So I think it's good.
It's a very special way of learning a language, but okay, I see. And what about the German class? Is this going on well? If I isn't here anymore, you're joining?
Yes.
Yes. You are also in the German class, Azad.
Yeah, I'm taking the second shift one, because the first one I cannot attend.
I see. So what about the plans coming to Austria then for work?
I was so unlucky. The last week Gerald was here, Mr. Swagoffer.
Yes.
And like I was not well and I was having much work, and my boss told me that he's going to leave after 8 o'clock and I have to do some work. I have to go to the bank. So I left that day. And then the next day I came to know that Gerald was looking after me just after 5 minutes. And he wants to invite me because he has a friend who was the king once in my town, and his son is now taking care of it, and he's a very good friend of Gerald, and he wanted to take me to there along with him for the lunch and discuss about the Vienna. And then I was so stupid, I missed the chance. But the new CEO is coming on 20th, and we will discuss about this. And most probably like this June on 24th I finish my apprenticeship, and maybe in July we are going to discuss what is the program.
Okay, I see. Okay, so let's see. And also, Surcho and can you recommend your harvesting job? No. So would there, if next year we have two other people who can come to Austria for 4 months doing harvesting and have really a good salary, who would be interesting? Is there anybody who would be interesting from June to September?
Milan.
Me, Claudia, Somnath.
I don't see who is raising the hand. Or you
Milan and Robin.
You can see that.
Milan, Samrat, Robin. Okay. Also girls, because they asked for women. Erich was asking if there are also young women who would like to come.
Yes, in Austria, women works very much than the men.
Sabina also raised her hand. Is this correct, Sabina?
Yes, Claudia.
Where is Sheikh Saruk is where?
Okay, I'm writing down. Okay. So
please raise your hand.
So all the people who were so really are with us today, because actually I'm wondering where the others are, because we are 69 people in our empowering group and 23 came today. So you will get maybe a reward by being chosen for some jobs, maybe. So Rupa, also Rupa. I'm just writing down, you know, I can't promise anything, but I would just want to know who is interesting. So it was Milon, Susmita, Rupa, Sabina, and Sheikh Sharuk. Is this right? And Robin.
And Samrat, Robin.
And Samrat, okay.
And Robin.
Somnath Halder.
And Somnath. So let's see. Maybe we find some other, because I'm planning to make a call in our newsletter. Maybe some people, we have lots of company owners have some jobs for a limited time. For a limited time, it's always easier to get the working permit.
Sasha is also leaving the hand.
Okay.
I think Shukendu also told.
Okay, so there was like everybody.
So everybody will come to Austria.
We will have a Zuki in a chair. And who is the Biswachi doses is with? Okay. So let's see. But I just have it in mind, because Erich was telling that maybe we have this as a model for every year, then we make the same, maybe with some more people, we don't know. So
Katisha,
and Socho also, they will come. Even yesterday you were a little bit like...
I want to say something. Please,
okay.
if you want to come, make your passport ready. That's the first thing.
Okay.
Yes.
Good advice. Very important advice, because this is, we had lots of problems with Moidul when he went to Romania. So everybody who thinks that whenever in life, and you never know how fast, because I was asking Surcho, I think in March, and then we were looking for a second one, and then it was the benefit of Kenai that you got your passport very soon, or you had already a passport, I think.
No, I got it very soon.
Yes, very quickly. This was, so for whoever thinks of ever, you know, working maybe in Europe, please get your passport, because sometimes, you know, just the chance is coming and then I'm asking, and sometimes people have to leave very quickly. So I know now you are in your college education, we don't want to disturb that, but this is very difficult, a very important remark of Kenai. Anything else that you can, Kenai and Surcho, about your learnings going abroad into Austria that you want to tell the others? Yeah. What they need for leaving the country, or no, the visa we made together?
If it is for seasonal visa, like limited period of time, then it's easy because it's a work commission.
Yes.
Like for long term, my brothers know, then they have to make police verification. Then
yes. This is much more difficult, I know. That's why I'm telling that this maybe for this very limited time, like 4 months, if we get some more chances. I was also speaking to Joseph Zotter, who might offer 2 jobs also for like 3 or 4 months. So that's why I'm asking.
Okay, Katisha, she put her name in the chat. She would be also on the list. And okay. Biswajit, Sabina, and Milon tell us they have already passports.
Okay, I see. Good. Mm-hmm. Is it expensive? to get a passport? Is it expensive?
Not so expensive.
Oh.
1,500 only.
Ah, okay. This is not expensive. Good. Okay, so we keep this in mind. Thank you very much. I'm glad that we get these sessions going again because I think it's inspiring for everybody and it's also for us. Ah, and Malis wanted to show some pictures.
Yes,
Because coming to Austria means also being a Zuki testimonial. That's
yes.
it's like your duty then, and I think it's a very pleasant duty because we had on Saturday evening we had a charity dinner. There's an organization who makes this dinner once a year in a really beautiful environment. It's like a palace. And Surcho and Kenneth, they were our testimonials. They came, they had suits with them. We put a tie, or Mali's husband brought one. And they were telling their story. And so, Malis, you are showing some pictures?
Yes, do you see the pictures?
We just saw it, I see it small, but can you make them bigger?
Ah, okay. I'm already, you should go on Sprecheransicht.
Ah, okay.
If you click at the right end above, you can click on Sprecheransicht or speaker,
okay.
And then you see the pictures in gray.
Aha.
Can you see it? Sprecheransicht.
Yeah.
I go back.
I have the Sprecheransicht, but I don't see the big pictures. I just see the overview, the whole small ones.
Aha, okay. So
what about you, the others? Do you see them in big, the pictures, or just the small ones?
No,
okay.
small.
Now it's better?
Yeah, now it's better.
Okay.
So Surcho and Kenna, maybe you can comment on these pictures. So
first one was inside the lift.
Yeah, so it's a very old palace in Austria. They were already telling about, we have lots of historic buildings, and the gentlemen on the right and the left side, they are the ones organizing everything. It's a kind of, ich weiß nicht, wie sagt man, der Ritterorden. It's an organization they are celebrating every year.
Yes, like a nightly order. I checked it in internet. It's a very old order from the 13th century.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
So, and there is he's a surgeon, a doctor on the left side, and this is his son, and he was also giving a speech because they also have an NGO which is working in Africa. And so they were telling about their experiences, but they also gave a big donation for us.
Yes.
Spontaneously, because we, Malis and me, and Surcho and Kenne presented Zuki. And for us, of course, when somebody is in Austria, we will also make, I'm working, I have this in mind, maybe in September, and a charity event for our sponsors. And, you know, when we can tell the story, or you told the story yourself, this is very convincing for people. It's a success story, that you came as a small children to Zuki, and then you speak English in such a good way. It was very impressive for the people.
Many people told me it was the highlight of the evening to have you here, Surcho and I, as a proof that our work really makes sense and it's possible to raise children from poor background to great young men speaking perfectly English, being charming, speaking without any, with big confidence to everybody. So yes, everybody was very much impressed by your
looking very well in the suits, very handsome. Yes. So I said this is my anti-aging secret. If you want to look younger, just have young men around you. Like Surcho and Kenna, we blossomed, Malis and me, on Saturday. Yes, no, it was a very, very well prepared presentation also for Malis. And so, you know, when you come to Austria, your testimonials.
Yes, and because of you, Surcho and Kenna, they doubled the donation. So they wanted to give half of the amount. They, in fact, are giving now because you were so impressive. Okay,
and
so thank you
the
very much.
surgeon gave another. So we were supposed, We got 4 times because Mr. Borzek, the one we saw before, he also gave another 2 parts. So like we got 4 times as much as was planned before as a donation because Surcho and Kenna were there and were also talking about the story. So.
But you will not get a part of the donation. It's for,
it's for the small children. For everything we know we need in India. Yeah, okay. So I'm really glad that we met, and we will fix another date with Philipp and get this what we are planning with the books going, and also get some more guest speakers. So who was happy that we had another session? Please raise your hand. Me too. Very good.
I asked Shika already how much the books are, so she will organize it. But I don't know how you will get the books, because she can buy all the books, but then they are in Kolkata in the hostel. Can you go there and take the books, or should we send the books to you? So maybe we have to speak about that, how you get the books.
Yes, I don't know. Can Shika organize it?
No, I think every month Shika calls for a meeting, then they will distribute it.
Ah, okay.
There are
You
still
have a
meetings? Yes, again, you have meetings there? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then she should keep all the books with her and distribute them at the meetings. Okay?
But Claudia, I am in different place because I cannot go to Calcutta because I'm having college right now.
Maybe you can write to meet directly who cannot go to the meetings in Kolkata and who needs the books, send it to the special place, okay?
Yes, or maybe if you order it on Amazon, then or the people, or maybe everybody can order for himself and then we pay the money. No, this is too complicated.
Too complicated, I think, yes.
Or the ones
Claudia,
in Bangalore or somewhere else.
Get online.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Maybe the ones who are not in Kolkata ordered it for themselves and they get the money then?
Yes, ma'am.
Online also we can
Claudia.
read that book.
That would be okay.
Who has an idea how we could organize this in the best
Claudia,
way?
last time regarding the Marley's book, Compound Interest, that one, the compound book.
Yes.
That one, what we did, that we made it delivery from Amazon, and then we sold the bill to Shika, and Shika paid the money.
Ah, okay. This is a
Usually
good.
every month.
Because then it's easier if she does it, then yeah, okay.
Very good idea. You order yourself and you send the bill to Shika, and she will pay the price to your bank account. Yes, like this?
We have to ask her because sometimes she says she can't receive the money.
Yes, we have to ask her. Okay, we will let you know.
We'll let you know. Okay. So thank you everybody for joining. I'm glad that you came because I was a little bit nervous, and it was Philipp really has very tiny amount of time. And yes, I'm not so happy that not more came. I don't know where they are. We will find out. But yes, we were happy to see you, and I also got lots of inspiration. So let's meet very soon, and all the best to you. Bye-bye.
Yes, bye.
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 Bye. Thank you. Tata.
Bye bye.